my co-host on the Razor Force Offensive, Tactical Hobo, predicted Liz Cheney would get beyond boofed in the primaries, yeah, I figured it was a safe bet. When he then went on to explain how severely savaged he believed she'd be by the electorate, I gotta admit, I was as skeptical as I was hopeful. But folks, fuck me, I was wrong. Tactical Hobo, however, was resoundingly right, because good goddamn did this half-wit heifer get put out to pasture. By the time I turned in last night, she was teetering just above 30%, and by the time I woke up, she was already well below it. And all the armchair analysts then went from time cycle to super spin almost immediately in an attempt to obfuscate the cause. Trumpism has subsumed the GOP, they shrieked, even as they repeatedly claimed prior to the primaries that Trump was a down-ticket drag. Well, I think we can clearly say that has been illustrated as the exact opposite. T-Pain's primary endorsement record for this cycle was not only near perfect, the voter turnout figures scream out for detailed analysis. In an election cycle where rhinos and McCainites were utterly goddamn dragged, turnout reached record levels with tens of thousands more motherfuckers pulling the lever to lose Karen Taylor Robeson in Arizona, and now Liz Cheney, both of whom lost to a Trump-endorsed candidate. Meaning, yes, despite not even being a politician 5 fucking years ago, Trump has now formally ended the political dynasties of Clinton, Bush, McCain, and Cheney, and that's with only one term in office. I officially do not want to hear Trump never did nothing for me as you sob into your Sora body pillows, bedwetters. But we should have known what a decuman dick flattening was inbound on the day when Liz Cheney showed up to be one of the 5 fucking people who cast a vote for her, decked out in Dickies and a sloppy fucking flannel shirt. Way to dress up for the occasion there, Liz. What are you, Donald Trump? Folks, she fucking knew. Look at her. Media may have distorted the available poll data, as they inevitably do, but a fucking funhouse mirror couldn't distort these figures. This cunt was carpet bombed, and the message is clear. The old coalition is dead.
This applies to Arizona. This applies everywhere. The bottom line is you will gain more. Look at that turnout. Even if you take out the Democratic vote, look at that turnout. It is significant. There's almost 171,000 voters in this primary turnout. This is basic arithmetic. MAGA is driving up turnout well beyond historical proportions. Wyoming, Arizona, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, even Georgia. All over the damn place.
If Arizona ever truly was purple, it was only due to inferior establishment candidates from the GOP. If you run on America First, you fucking win. And in historic fashion with record-breaking turnout, no less. The numbers are clear as crystal. If you boof it, they will come. Liz Cheney won only 2 counties in Wyoming, and she very nearly came away with only 1. The reason why is simple. Not Trump, not blind loyalty to a solitary public figure, and it certainly wasn't because you stuck to your principles. It's because you're a representative, you floppy-jowled fucking sea hag. You only have one principle: representing your voters. No one elected you for your beliefs. They elected you for theirs. Much like Chairman Mark Kelly here in Arizona, you weren't even from the fucking state, and nearly your entire war chest was comprised of California cash. And you wonder why Wyoming voters felt about as represented as a white dude in a McDonald's commercial? Bitch, you weren't insulting Trump, because Trump is a Johnny-come-lately to the America First movement. It preceded him, and it will survive him. You used Trump to insult your voters by proxy, princess, and now you blame both for the butt-fucking you just received? The only thing shakier than that logic is one of your dad's hunting buddies. But the pièce de resistance had to be the broad's reaction to the reaming. When you get BTFO'd in biblical fashion, myriad options simultaneously present themselves. Bowing out graciously, returning to the drawing board, etc., etc. This carpetbagging bitch elected an alternate route. Blame Trump, blame the voters, blame her fucking party, all while pledging to devote the remaining months of her ignominious tenure to still more hysteria and histrionics on the very same January 6th committee that is largely responsible for this bitch losing her fucking job.
The former president said last night you're now headed to political oblivion. You said this fight is just beginning. You've even launched a political organization already. So let's just be straight about it. Are you considering running for president yourself?
Well, what I'm going to do, Savannah, is spend the next several months completing my work in Congress, obviously completing my work representing the people of Wyoming. We have a tremendous amount of work left to do on the January 6th committee. We've now got one major political party, my party, which has really become a cult of personality. And we've got to get this party back to a place where we're embracing the values and the principles on which it was founded.
Razor Force, look no further for a blinding example of the explicit, barely harnessed contempt with which the ruling class assay us all. Their every election festooned with fucking lies. Also, they can get back to Washington and treat with the people they actually represent. Lobbyists and leering politicos. And I know what you're thinking. With the entire house of cards crashing down around us, when do they accept responsibility? Well, would you count comparing yourself to Abraham Lincoln as an admission of fault?
The great and original champion of our party, Abraham Lincoln, was defeated in elections for the Senate and the House before he won the most important election of all. Lincoln ultimately prevailed, he saved our Union, and he defined our obligation as Americans for all of history. Speaking at Gettysburg of the great task remaining before us, Lincoln said that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom.
So wait, you're comparing yourself to a tyrannical racist who jailed and deported his political enemies both before and during the Civil War he absolutely could have prevented, and for all his professed emancipative ambitions, in truth, advocated the mass deportation of all blacks back to Africa until his dying goddamn day. Fair enough, let's accept that premise. What does it say about Liz Cheney that Abraham Lincoln was still somehow more adept at pretending to listen to the American people, even as he was invading, imprisoning, and murdering fully fucking half of them? It's all I can do not to laugh fucking vomitously as Liz Cheney chides the GOP for succumbing to a cult of personality for a movement Trump inherited from the no figurehead having fucking Tea Party, even as she name checks Abraham Lincoln, a glorified goddamn dictator with such a seismic cult of personality that after his death, the White House commissioned statues of him with his ass planted on a literal throne with two fasci on either arm and portraits of Lincoln ascending to heaven like Christ fucking crucified. Helen Keller in a sensory deprivation tank has more self-awareness than this pie-faced fucking slag. But you know what? Liz Cheney's right. She is like Abraham Lincoln. They were both taken out by an actor. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
They say I'm a loser, and it's tearing me apart. But I show them they're wrong, but believe me, I don't fool around. One thing you can bet on is
Honey, you know what else the dictator does? Sometimes he'll just kill the people he knew weren't going to vote for him anyway, just like in Texas.
From now on, you can call me Dictator.